Match
play
number 2
second. They
starting
have a lot of expectations on them and a lot of
of
pressure
All-Star,
from China as a region. I know we talked to some other teams, Victory 5 during the
जिसमें कि
prelims,
हमारी
and
एनटीटी
they said
टीम
they
खेल
felt the
रही है.
pressure
देखते हैं,
100%.
पहली
So you
मैच
know
तो
what?
अच्छी नहीं गई
Things are
एनटीटी के
heating
लिए.
up, but
नंबर
also
13
cooling
पे है,
down
2
here in the
पॉइंट्स के
venue as we're going
साथ
over to
एक किल
Vikandi
पॉइंट
for
और
our
एक
last match
और
of
एक
the
प्लेस पॉइंट मिला.
mixed group B. And
चिकन डिनर मारा अपना
Oh, we get to sponsor things. Oh.
ईवॉस ने.
Vikandi, this was a fun one last time. Let's see if this one kind of pops off again, and the plane is going to start basically the same plane, except it's starting over the winery and going to Trevno this time instead of the other way around. So we'll see if the circle wants to do something similar. I kind of doubt we're going to have another brutal southwest circle. All of our circles so far have been southwest. Let's see if we can roll the dice a little bit here, Valdez, and get something a little different going. I want a little variety in my PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I know Southwest sauce is a good sauce at Subway, and the airline is pretty good too. But I'd like to see something else here on this map as well. I'm 100% with you, and again, we have
और
to
यहाँ
wait
पर
and see
एंटिटी
like
ड्रॉप
which
लेते
one of
हुए
these storylines is going to come true. Can
देखते हैं
Elementrix
एंटिटी कहाँ
with
ड्रॉप
the
लेगी.
famous Poopa Man come in here and pick up
एक्स
another
ऑरेंज की टीम
win
यहाँ पर
on
उतर
top of
रही
a
है.
lot of the kills that they kind of
क्लाउड
missed
9
out
और एक्स
on
ऑरेंज
in
की
the
टीम
first map,
इनके
even
अंदर
though they
फाइट
did get
होने
the
की
chicken dinner.
आशंका.
Or, well, speaking of which, we are going to have a bit of a...
Oh, Beowulf.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got to be pretty careful. Now they could opt to try to go back for it.
और
They're
यहाँ
not
पर
going to. I
क्लाउड 9
figured
का
once you basically
बंदा
get
वुल्फ
one shot
बचते
at
हुए
that with the UAZ. It's not very fast. The
बहुत
turn radius isn't
मुश्किल
great
से
on it.
बचा भाई. एक्स
So
गेमिंग,
you get one chance to try to run him over.
मारा होता
But
है
if
इनका.
your opponent has cover,
बच
they
गए
can
लेकिन
pretty well avoid that disaster for themselves. So Beowulf, he's out. He's good.
क्लाउड 9 की
Everything's fine
टीम
here.
वो वुल्फ
And Elementrix heads
यही
west.
था वो बंदा जो बचा है अभी.
Yeah, I got to hand it to Beowulf, not crumbling under the pressure there and just saying, no, I know exactly how to play against this UAS. A lot of other players might just
एनटीटी की
tense
टीम
up and
उतरी है
not make the right
कॉस्मोड्रोम
play,
में,
but in the end,
जिसके
did the
उसका
right thing. So we talked
उसके
about
पास
circles.
उनके पास वीआईपी की
Let's
टीम है,
see what is
टीक्यू
going
की
to come
टीम
in
है,
here. It
टीम
looks like
प्लस पे भी है
kind of in the
आसपास
middle here,
फुटबॉलीज है.
Paper Thin.
Yeah, pretty
फुटबॉलीज तो
much
दूर है,
middle.
लेकिन
So
एनटीटी को
it's
सर्कल
a
में
little bit weird for
रोटेशन
some of the
मारते
teams
समय थोड़ा
that are
सावधान
on the
रहना
east
पड़ेगा.
side or the northeast side. And the first
क्योंकि
team to
उनका
get to Mount
लेफ्ट
Kresnik
और राइट बैक
is
साइड
probably going
दोनों
to be a
साइड
little bit
टीम
happy early on. They can get some information
देखते हैं
there.
अभी
Kind
कैसे
of
खेलते हैं भाई.
almost plays a
ये
bit
अपना बॉक्स
like the
गेमिंग के
mountain
लोग की
that's southeast of Georgia Pole in a way. So you can get some information up there, and there's actually loot up on there, which is where it's a little different from the mountain southeast of Georgia Pole.
और M16 यूज कर
And
रहे
it
हैं
looks
फिलहाल.
like maybe
हमारी रेड की
Entity
टीम.
Gaming might have the ability to
मैं
come in
बॉस
through
की
there. It's
मैक्स
open
है,
right now. See if
लेवेस
anybody
की.
wants to rush on down there, try to get on in. But mostly it's a pretty fair circle. So this time, I feel like, and maybe I'll jinx it here, but for sure, this might be one of those ones where you have 12 teams around circle 6, 7,
Vikandi
and
का मैच
then
है.
things get
बहुत
real
मजा
bloody
आएगा
real
लास्ट
fast.
सर्कल तक.
We did see a bit of that even on
लास्ट
Erangel
मैच में तो
with
आरआरक्यू ने
the
क्या
interesting
खेला.
circles we
अकेला
had
बंदा लास्ट
mostly
तक
on the
सेकंड
west side, but
पोजीशन
then
तक
once it
लेके
did
गया.
go to phase 4, phase 5, it was just bouncing
बहुत ही
back
बढ़िया
and
मैच हुआ
forth. It
था.
was like
यहाँ
a
फुटबॉलिस्ट का
madhouse
स्क्वाड.
over there on that map. So we'll see what the map
इनके
decides
पास
to
ही
give to these teams, but I feel
टेस्ट
like the
का स्क्वाड
international
है.
teams
टॉप ई
overall
स्पोर्ट्स.
are not going to be gunning right to the middle as
इनके
we
बीच
saw a
फाइट
bit
कभी
from
भी
the
हो
Native
सकती है.
teams in the first couple of games.
Yeah, and you can see things are a little more level here with the international teams. The level of play is much higher and much more even, as a lot of these teams have been duking it out over the course of the year, trying
कार
to
मिल चुकी है
make their way
फुटबॉलिस्ट की
into
टीम
the
को.
split
ओके,
finals and win all that prize money. But this is
कार नहीं है
this
ये.
is coming through on that snowmobile, which is a dangerous vehicle as things goes on. Early on, not so
और यहाँ
bad.
पर हमारी इंडिया
But
का
my
प्राइड,
goodness,
इंडिया की टीम,
later on, I do not like that
टीम
thing. It is
एंटिटी,
slow and it is exposed. So
जोनाथन, नियो,
avoid that late game at all
घातक
costs,
और
ladies
अमन.
and gentlemen. It is not good.
Absolutely. As we're taking a look here at ETG, Entity Gaming. We know that Jason was calling them out there in between games. This is a team we do want to keep our eye on here, especially for map
एबिलिटीज तो
number
ठीक
2
ठाक है
on
इनके पास
Vikandi.
फिलहाल.
Over towards Cosmodrome, it did look like there to start us off, so we'll be towards the northeast side of the circle.
Yeah, ETG. We'll see. They're definitely a favored team, of course. I mean, there's any team that I feel like got 10th place or better at the fall split grand finals is definitely in the running here. They're definitely good enough to compete. the point spread
और
after you
यहाँ
got
पर जैसा
below
मैंने कहा था
Bigatron
पहली
tightened up
फाइट यूनिक
pretty
और
well
टेस्ट
in
की होते
in
हुए
those top 10s. So there's a
यूनिक
lot of room to
टेस्ट का
maneuver, and that
बंदा
is
नॉक होते हुए
that might be a kill here
अब मेरे
for
ख्याल से
Rogue. He's
टेस्ट का
gonna
पूरा
leap
स्क्वाड
over
पुश
that wall.
करेगा
Looks like he was able to catch Eagle,
यस
who was
वो
trying
पुश
to
कर रहे
bomb
यूनिक
into
के
this
ऊपर
compound. That is
बट फिर से
another
चलेगा
devastating loss for
फॉल
Top
बैक कर लिया
Esports.
टेस्ट ने
That's a mistake you do not want to make early on, just losing one of your guys as he is
वो भी
out
सीगल
scouting.
मारा है
The
टेस्ट
rest
का
of Top
बहुत ही
Esports
इनको
is
नुकसान
going to
होगा
run
आगे
with their tail between their legs and say, we will
मेन
come back to
फ्रैगर
fight
था
another
उनका
day. But we've
सीगल
seen so many firefights, 4-on-3, teams that push extremely aggressively once you get that first knock, and that's going to be
यूनिक
TES
का
for
याशा
the rest of the game,
टेस्ट
essentially.
वहीं पर
Well,
दूर
it's
से
kind of
फाइट
what
लेते हुए
happens with these 1-3 splits, this high risk, high reward. When you send one player way out of the other team to do the scouting, a lot of times you can get a ton
यूनिक
of
की टीम फॉल
information for
बैक करते
free,
हुए
and you don't, risk losing 2, 3,
एक किल मिल गया
4
निकल लिया
players
वो
in transition. But you can lose one early on, like we've seen here. That does happen from time to time, and that's that's the difficult part about playing that recon role, is doing the recon safely, getting ahead of the rest of your team safely. In this case, I just assume Eagle thought that was safe, and for whatever reason, he just didn't have the right information. They didn't scout properly or something like that, and he gets caught out, and
बॉक्स के पास
that's
रेड की
really
टीम
not what you would expect from this
बॉक्स
Chinese
गेमिंग
team.
वर्सेस रेड
Sure,
रेड का
and we're taking
स्क्वाड
another look
इनकी
here
भी
at
फाइट हो
Box
सकती है
Gaming. They
फिलहाल
are just
आरआरक्यू को कोई
camping it up
टेंशन नहीं
right
आराम
in
से
the
वो
middle
लूट
there,
कर रहे
trying
हैं
to
उनका
loot whatever they can in that one
गोरख
compound, but not the greatest
मैं
performance
गोरख
in
में
map number 1.
विला
Even
पूरा
though they
खाली
did
है
talk
माउंट
a lot of
क्रेजिक पूरा
trash,
खाली
talking
है वहाँ
about
पर
how you
ईटीजी
should be scared of their
ब्रॉलर्स आ
team.
सकते हैं वहाँ पर
We'll see if they can bring it home for Vietnam
देखते हैं
this
हम
time
कैसे
around.
खेलते हैं
Yeah, they've
पोजीशनिंग
got that
कैसी
nice
होती है
center
इनकी
circle location, as
Come on,
does
entity,
EGC
come
for
on.
Crew. Saw them have a very good round for themselves. They're very centered up here. And the first circle, though, doesn't matter too
पिछले
much.
गेम में एंटिटी
Very much bounce around
कब
like
आए
we're
और
talking
कब
about.
मरे
It's like a
वही
little kid in
समझा
a
नहीं
bouncy house.
जब
Just
फिफ्थ
left,
सर्कल हो
right,
गया
left,
था
right,
एरेंगल
on
में
your head, on your back. Doesn't matter where you go.
ग्रुप बी का राउंड 2 है
Eventually,
पीएमएससी
find a
वर्ल्ड कप
home,
चल
but
रहा है गाइस और ये
starting out
यूनिक की
center is
टीम
nice, but it doesn't
रेड के
always
स्क्वाड
mean
के
that
पास
that's
से
where
जाते
things are
हुए
going to go. The Red Canids watching, member of
और
Eagle
यूनिक
by- Ooh,
यूनिक
they're
रॉज
gonna find the
नॉक
knock
होते
on the
हुए
headshot there onto Rogue, so Rogue gets a
स्टोन
kill, but then gets
स्टोन
found
कवर
out. Can
कवर
they
देने
get
की
the
कोशिश
revive
करते
here?
हुए
He's got a rock to work with, or are
ओल्ड
the
बॉय
Red
भी
Canids
नॉक होते हुए
going to
यूनिक का
pounce on top of this? No, it is going to
और
be
यहाँ
Rogue, who
यूनिक का
does
राज खत्म
get
होते हुए
confirmed by Marco.
एस ने फुटबॉलिस्ट के
That's a rough
लॉवर्स इनको
spot
नॉक
once
कर दिया
again,
जैसा
trying
मैंने
to
कहा
drive
था
on through, but getting sniped out there with the headshot by Red Canids. We didn't see Red Canids all too much in game number 1, but
रेड
you
पुश
see they're
करते हुए
getting aggressive,
यूनिक
they're
पे
shooting at all the cars, and now they're pushing on in to try to clean it up, what they started.
Yeah, they don't want Unique anywhere around this. Maxon does trade 1-for-1 here with Natowski coming around with his own micro Uzi, trying to see if he can get inside the house. He
यूनिक के
catches the
ओल्ड बॉय ने
backside
बहुत
of
बढ़िया मारा
Old
है
Boy. Old Boy comes
बहुत
around and
हार्ड
gets another knock for
ओल्ड
himself,
बॉय
but
ने
he does
3 बंदे
end
डाउन
up
कर
getting
चुके हैं
found out. A
पर इनका
dangerous
एक
push
बंदा
here
इनके
for
पास
the
नहीं
Red
है यूनिक का
Canids,
स्टोन
and
अगर
they
इनके पास
have
होते तो
one
वो
member. I mean, excuse me, now they
बहुत
have
बढ़िया
one
नॉक
member
होता है
standing as Box is now getting in on
क्लच
this
हो
action,
सकता
so
था
some
ये
early
स्टोन होता अगर इनके
hyper-aggression
पास
from these teams.
So many teams just heard the action and
बॉक्स
they're
गेमिंग
like,
में भी
okay,
थर्ड पार्टी कर चुके
let's
हैं
get
रेड
in
के
there, you know,
ऊपर
pick off some kills. If you can just get a couple of free kills from outside when you're not even fully committing, essentially for free, that is the money right there. And we saw a lot of teams, they heard the shots fired and they wanted to get in on the action. A lot of teams picking
ओल्ड
up
बॉय
kills
खत्म
in
होते
there,
हुए
but no team specifically
यूनिक का अब
going
एक सिंगल
down.
बंदा बचा
Keep
है
in mind,
स्टोन
Kitsune did get away from this fight for Unique, and this is not, once again, how this
बॉक्स
Russian
गेमिंग
team
फिर फॉल
wanted to
बैक
start
करते हुए
this.
एक किल चुरा कर
We said at the beginning, they're considered probably the strongest team in Europe. Oh boy, careful. It's okay. just moving them around a little bit, just using those tires to push them up and in there, and they're going to be able to get Max in. It looks like I'm a little shocked here that Box maybe didn't think about trying to push down that hill, but maybe they didn't feel like it was worth getting a little
और यहाँ पर
over
हमारी हम
aggressive. And
सबकी
in fact, there's no
favorite
rage
RRQ
coming up on the
होती है
backside of them. So
RRQ
I think
G9
that might be a wise decision
G9
for
और
now.
ईवॉस की
Yeah, it's a good
ईवॉस
idea.
पास
As I
पास
was
में आ
talking
चुके
about
हैं
before, you know, snipe
उनकी
out a
फाइट्स
couple of
कभी भी हो
kills, but you
सकती है
don't have
बॉक्स
to fully
गेमिंग फिर
commit,
फाइट
and that's
लेते हुए
exactly what they did go for here. As Ga and everybody on the side of Box are fully capable
और
and
ईवॉस और
alive right now, looking for a couple of kills
जीएसपी ने
now
नॉक कर चुका है
onto no
गॉड्स
raids
की
that
लक
is
के
in
बंदे
that
ने
compound.
Yeah, and you
ईवॉस
can
औरों
see
को
this is
खत्म कर
exactly
चुका है
why Box didn't decide to push on down on the Cannons, despite knowing full well that the Cannons got very beat up in that fight with Unique. So they had to play defense because if they moved forward, then potentially No Rage comes up behind them and it just turns into this, you know, this cannibalistic fight where each team is just jumping on the backside of
में है
the
रेड की
other.
टीम.
The Canids, I quickly saw one of their members had a ton of heals and utility, so they should be pretty all right. Kind of get things up and running again. Queso, saw them moving around a lot, but didn't get a ton of kills in that last game. And they can rotate well, but they got to find a way to pick up some kill points along the way. As we talked about, those are oh so precious in this format. And Loki shooting some SLRs up on top of that rock. And, not really doing too much. He's got to be careful because eventually the Canids and No Rage are going to be able to see him up there.
Yeah, it's kind of a triangle of fighting going on between these three teams as we return to Top Esports, our Chinese favorite team. And they have been struggling so far. 0 kills after the early death by their teammates, and looks like they're going to be banking it on just trying to stay alive for as long as possible and not really taking those firefights early on.
Yeah, they're going for more of an edge position. They haven't crossed the river yet, but they could if they want to. Pretty soon, I think they're just going to wait for this circle to show itself and then start making their way in. Footballist is on their west. They're up by Mount Kresnik. They're the ones who kind of decide to opt to go for that. But, oh, this is what I'm talking about. You got to be careful. Loki gets spotted out now. Should maybe be able to get that res there. Nice shooting by Billy. And yes, indeed. That is, but that's not what you want, because each time you get knocked, of course, you die faster, and that's not the greatest. It's one notch in the belt there for him. Try and recover from that, and that's why you got to be real careful up on those high ground positions. Yes, it's amazing you can see a lot, but that also means that a lot of people can see you.
Yeah, it can be rough. Great shot, really got to hand it to Billy, as you were talking about. It's not really a big mistake that Loki did make, just a bit of a firefight that he did end up losing. So might think twice about going toe-to-toe with Billy the second time around, as we do have that circle closing on in. Very close to seeing what the next one will be.
Yeah, we're just looking at Elementrix, of course, our game 1 chicken dinner winners. We're looking to repeat if possible. Crates are coming down, one on the west side, one kind of more centrally located. We're going a little bit north, a bit of a hard shift here on this second circle, but most of the team's already in this, so this one could be, you know, we'll see if anybody wants to try to push towards Villa, where Kitsune is. He's all alone, the last surviving member of Unique. Otherwise, things might be a little quiet. There is that Almond there. We saw, मतलब काउंटर करना चाहिए विला वहाँ पर वो वहाँ से उनको पूरा व्यू मिलेगा चारों तरफ वो नजर रख सकते हैं अपने आसपास कौन कौन आ रहा है कौन कौन रेड का सिंगल टैप 16 का
beginning to just sidle on over towards the middle of that circle. Red Cannons, they're getting a lot of screen time this time around, as in game 1 they did not quite get that max in. Already 1 kill, looking to lock down team box gaming.
Well, yep, the Canids and RRQ and No Rage, Box, all are kind of in the middle of this EVOS up here as well. So this is kind of where, if there's going to be any action, this might be the area where it happens. Otherwise, not much going on. Potentially Entity Gaming might run into Footballist, but I don't think so. I think Footballist is they're pretty tight right now, and Entity's wrapping around the north of them on Mount Kresnik, and so things are going to slow up a little bit here. There isn't much that's going to, that teams are going to want to risk here until they see that third circle, maybe even the fourth circle, is when really you can start kind of more predicting where the next circle is going, or at least try to get center so you give yourself a statistically better advantage in terms of catching those next circles.
लास्ट सर्कल तक वेट करो यार, उसके बाद चिकन डिनर, उसके बाद किल्स भी मिलेंगे, सब मिलेंगे। वो बात अलग है, क्लासिक्स में लास्ट तक इतने बंदे बचते नहीं है, जहाँ से ज़्यादा 20 या 25 बंदे मैक्स टू मैक्स रहते हैं, वो भी अपना स्क्वाड पकड़ के। और यहाँ पर एलिमेंट्रिक्स रोटेशन मारते हो।
to Tovac and take up the southwestern side of this. They're uncontested so far, gotta be careful.
Cloud9 का squad, Box Gaming का squad आसपास है.
Nobody's really over there to take advantage of this, and they're just gonna rock right on. No fear here. They're just like, yep, good enough. Let's get more center. Let's try and see if we can replicate our success from the first game, but they want this spot that Box is already set up on. This could be dangerous for
और
both of
अब
these teams.
होगी फाइट
Yeah, great timing by Elementrix to
एलिमेंट्री
make
एक्स
their
और
play
बॉक्स
in
गेमिंग के
here.
बीच.
Now they've got Box a little bit split up,
ये
but are
फाइट
they going to
देखने
have
में
enough
मजा
time
आएगा
and
गाइस.
can they afford to be aggressive enough to try to pick one by one off? Looks like for now, Orange getting in the vehicle once again, so perhaps considering it here.
Yeah, I don't know if they've caught any members of Box in their sights. Like, have they seen anybody? Do they know that Box is here yet? It's hard to say for sure. They're just setting up these UAZs in the safest places they can. Like I talked about earlier, you want to keep those vehicles getting their tires
Cloud9 का
shot
पूरा
out and all those other
स्क्वाड
kind
ऊपर
of
से
things.
रीच पे से
Poopleman
देख
probably
सकता है
saw
इनका.
C9 up there on the hill, so he's just going to stay prone, keep C9 from getting an angle onto him, and just keep the information available for his team so they can try to make the best decision they can going into the next circle.
ETG और ये कौन सी टीम है? VIP की टीम के बीच में फाइट कभी भी हो सकता है. और एलिमेंट्री का और बॉक्स गेमिंग के बीच में होगी फाइट अब.
He hasn't caught anybody. Okay, he's going to come around the corner. He takes some damage.
और
Can he
यहाँ पर
outduel? Yes,
जूनियर
indeed,
ने
he is
नॉक
going to
करते
find
हुए
Guh. And
बॉक्स
oh, but now
का
Louis is
बैकअप
coming
ट्रेड
up to
में
give him some
लुइस
help
नॉक
with
होते हुए.
that silenced micro
जूनियर
Uzi.
नॉक
Is
होते हुए
Orange going to be able to come
लुइस
in?
ने जूनियर को
Kind
नॉक
of
कर दिया
return
ट्रेड
the
में.
favor, but Junior
बहुत
does
बढ़िया.
get
बैकअप
killed,
जो था ना वही
eliminated.
बंदे का एक
So that's
नंबर.
one member down here for
एक
Elementrix.
उनका नो स्कोप से क्या बढ़िया
Yeah,
नॉक
like
किया था
the
इसने.
original aggressive play, but it looks like he didn't really know that the
बॉक्स
enemy
गेमिंग
was
का एक
there
बंदा
in the player
नॉक
from
पड़ा हुआ है
Box.
अभी भी.
So now he goes down. The rest of his teammates are like, "Come on, mate, we weren't ready for that one."
ऑरेंज का
And we
जूनियर
were
पूरा
talking about it
फिनिश होते
before.
हुए.
Did they even know that the enemy was nearby?
Poo Man
Seems like the answer is
और
no.
Yeah, or at least didn't
तीन
expect
बंदे
them
बचे
to
हैं
be
अभी
in
Poo
that
Man के
tunnel
ऊपर सब
necessarily, and the grenades are too little too late.
ऑरेंज
You
Poo
can
Man और
easily back off around that
बॉक्स
corner so
गेमिंग
you
के
can't
चारों
bounce
बंदे
a
अब पुश
grenade around
करेंगे.
there. So
जैसे
Box
ही उनको एक
doing
बंदा
all right
पिक्सल
for
भी दिखा
themselves
पूरा
with
नॉक
3
होएगा वो
kills
बंदा
so far.
सीधा
They've been
पुश
in the
होएगा.
thick of it a little bit, as much as you
बस
can be in
एक
the thick of it
एलिमेंट्री
so far
एक्स का एक
in
बंदा
this
नॉक
game.
और
And that's
एलिमेंट्री
what you
के
need. You
ऊपर
need all
पुश
these
कभी
points
भी
you
आ
can get
सकता है.
trying to get to that finals. Remember, only 8 teams out of our 16 are going to make it there. And in this
16
group
टीम में से
especially,
8
you
टीम्स
really want to be
क्वालिफाई
one of the
होने
8
वाली
teams
है
because you
गाइस.
got to feel good about your chances if you can make it to that final day.
Yeah, Box once again picking up 3
हमारी
kills
एंटिटी
early. I believe
होनी
they did
चाहिए
a
टॉप
similar
8 में.
thing in
वो
map
कर
number 1.
सकते हैं. वो
So
इजी आएंगे
once
मेरे
you
ख्याल
get a
से
couple
क्योंकि
of
उन्होंने
kills
PMC
under your
में
belt, you really
टॉप
don't have
5
to
में आ
rush
सकते हैं
things.
तो
You
इसमें
can
तो
take
टॉप 8 में
angles
इजी आ
and
सकते
play
हैं गाइस.
positionally, and I'm glad to see that they're doing exactly that so far.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Box here. We're seeing some of our teams that maybe we thought were underdogs performing well. Box, Elementrix.
Cloud9,
So that's
Elementrix
cool to
और
see.
बॉक्स गेमिंग
Now can we see some of
तीनों
our
आसपास
superstars
में.
step up is
यहाँ
top
पर ETG
esports.
की
You know, again,
फाइट
they lost another member early
एंटिटी
on, but
फाइट ले रही
pretty
है
strong
EGC
now.
से
Everybody's just kind of
जो
positioning
कि इनको
themselves, getting
शायद
ready for
टफ
these
जा सकती है.
tighter
EGC के
circles when
बंदे
things
भी
get
बहुत
really,
स्ट्रांग हैं.
really intense, but there's still a ton of
घातक यहाँ पर
compounds, a
अकेला है.
ton of real estate
विला की
inside of
तरफ
this
है
circle,
बंदे
so
सब.
there isn't going to be much action to be found, most likely. You're just kind of inching forward, trying to jockey for position a
EGC
little bit, seeing if
17
you can dislodge
घातक
somebody from a
नियो
rotation route, maybe. Exactly what
घातक
I'm
निकल
talking
रहा है.
about here
फॉल
with
बैक कर
ETG.
रहा है वहाँ
They're
सर.
like, nope, we can't do this right now, so they're just going to back off. Bye-bye.
18 मिनट्स हो चुके हैं गेम में.
And I like it,
एंटिटी
they
फॉल
took
बैक
over
करते हुए
mid,
विला की
just
तरफ से
sending out probes,
क्योंकि वहाँ पर
not
EGC
getting
ने
anyone
कब्जा
knocked
करके
or
रखा है.
killed, and
चलो
having to
कंपाउंड
commit
मिल
to a
चुका
fight
है
or anything like that.
एंटिटी
They
को.
do regroup, they find
हमारे
different
जोनाथन भाई.
compounds, and they're just gonna chill out there
जब
for now.
जोनाथन मारते
Yeah,
हैं ना
what's
भाई
funny about all of this is Kitsune is kind
तो
of
बंदा उठता
somewhere
नहीं, उठ
around
जाता है.
all of this between
हाँ.
ETG and EGC, and he's just by himself outside of the villa just waiting. And
स्प्रे
okay, Box
स्प्रे ले
does
सकता
decide
था
to
रेड का बंदा
leave
लेकिन उसने बस स्काउट
leave
किया.
Tovach and leave Elementrix to their own devices. Red Cannons aren't really
EGC
able to
17
make them
EGC
pay
BR.
too much for that. Now they're taking some damage.
भाई,
Now
रेड
Louis,
ने
it's actually going to be
C9 ने शॉट
C9's
लेते हुए बॉक्स पर.
Beowulf who's going to find him.
अब
Now
ये
Max is seeing
शॉट
if he can find the foot
रेड
onto
किल
Louis.
स्टोर
Louis is
स्टोल
able to
कर
get
सकता
just
है.
far enough around that corner. Smokes are going to come
स्मोक
down,
आते हुए
trying to get Maxon up and running again. And we'll see
बच
if he
जाएगा
is indeed
रेड का
able to do
बंदा.
that. Comes out the window, meets his friend.
क्या नॉक था भाई Cloud9 का. हिल के ऊपर
Getting a good
पूरा का
angle
पूरा
here.
कवर करके रखा है Cloud9 ने. इसकी वजह से उनको पूरे जितने भी स्क्वाड है सब दिखेंगे भाई. RRQ का सीनियर अर्नी G9 D2 इनके पास ही अभी ड्रॉप गिरा है. ड्रॉप
Rough one for any of these teams to make a play at.
Yeah, curious to see if
Gods की
RRQ
lucky
wants
team
to
आते
try to
हुए
make a play at that.
ड्रॉप के पास शायद.
Skilla, who had a very nice round in the back of, you know, the one guy, the one man who was left for, or excuse me,
Jonathan.
Yasha for Unique was over there. He went against
VIP पे
Cloud9,
शॉट
but
लेते
Go
हुए
Skilla.
जॉनथन
That was a different
एक भी गोली
situation for
कनेक्ट नहीं
them.
हुई वो बात अलग है
And that was Gonzo, who is also not my favorite Muppet. I was going to say that, and then I was like, no,
फिर
that's
से
not
VIP
true.
की स्क्वाड एंटिटी के सामने से
Favorite
जाते हुए
Muppet, Valdez.
I like
बहुत
the
बढ़िया
Grouch.
स्प्रे था
The Grouch.
Yeah, he's a good one for me.
The Grouch.
He's very realistic.
Who's the one
Big
that...
fan.
and I
VIP
can't
की
even remember the
स्क्वाड
name of
कभी
my
भी मर
favorite, the one
सकती
that
है
plays
यहाँ
the
पर
piano.
क्योंकि उनको कंपाउंड ही नहीं मिल रहा है कोई
No.
सब तरफ
No,
बंद है
Muppets. No, you're thinking of Sesame
Oh,
Street.
okay.
No. The
दोनों
one with the
बंदे
Grouch
कहाँ
last
घूम
year.
रहे हैं अकेले क्या पता
Sesame
है
Street.
विला की तरफ
Might be.
नीचे
I
की
think
तरफ
not
आ
sure. Well,
चुके
there's
हैं
like some crossover there.
आगे
Like
यूनिक की
Kermit's
टीम
in
दिखेगी
both.
आपको
And like, yeah.
Yeah.
यूनिक का
Anyway,
स्टोन कभी
whatever.
भी पिक
The one
ऑफ
that
हो
plays the
सकता है
piano, I can't
अकेला बंदा
I like
बच्चा
it. Or the Doctors. Beaker and Bunsen.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Anyway.
टेस्ट की टीम
Top
यहाँ पर
esports along the river.
एवॉस के
Moving along the
ईवॉस
side
के
here.
साथ इनकी
They're
फाइट हो
going to
सकती है
try to get. I'm curious to see how they want to approach this circle. There is that bridge over
इसके
there. The red
की
cannons
हेल्थ
are going
कम
to be
है
waiting in the compound.
50% HP
West,
बची है
and
बस
it is, and we have found it thanks to our hero.
और फुटबॉलिस्ट ने जीएसके के एक बंदे को स्पॉट कर लिया है नॉक भी कर सकता है
Thank you, Jason.
ओ
You're my hero.
37
He's pretty
60
awesome.
40% हेल्थ बची थी
I
बंदे
liked,
की गोंजो की बस
music as a kid.
बहुत बढ़िया स्प्रे था
Big fan myself.
और जीएसके की टीम फिर यहाँ से रोटेशन मार करते हुए बट इनको चारों तरफ से पड़ रही है
Not much cover as well around these tents.
Yeah, there just isn't a lot going on over here for Goskilla. The tents are nice; they block bullets. You know, you would think in theory that cloth shouldn't block bullets, but hey, maybe it's Kevlar tents.
There you go.
Yeah, let's go
और
with that.
सर्कल
Those
में
aren't a
पूरा
thing,
का
but
पूरा
now they
शिफ्ट
are, I
लेते
say.
हुए
And the circle hard shifts down to the
Cloud9
southwest.
को
So
पूरा
C9
इसमें
liking
लेगा
this Elementrix
Cloud9
once again, having
सर्कल
a
के
good
अंदर
time with
है
the circle. The
एलिमेंट्रिक्स है
Japanese team,
सर्कल के अंदर
ARW. Very happy about this as well.
अब
I
जो
want to keep my eyes
बंदे
on
मरेंगे
Box
ना
because
भाई
there
अब
are
किल फीड देखना
there are a ton of teams on the northeast part of this circle, and Box is the
अब सब
lone
रोटेशन
team up on
करेंगे
the
गाइस
northeast part
जो
of
भी
the
सबसे
circle that is
पहले
still
रोटेशन
in.
करके
So
निकल
they
गया वो निकल
have
गया
a lot of defense
जो
to potentially play.
लेट थोड़ा लेट भी हो गया ना एक दो
Some
सेकेंड
teams happy with the circle, just gonna lock
तो
it
इनको बहुत
down. You can
दिक्कत
see
करेगा
no
रोटेशन
raise
करने के
once.
लिए
Immediately taking advantage of Evos, making that rotation towards the circle here.
He didn't really get much damage down in there. It looked like he had the potential to maybe get one or two members of
RRQ
Evos
के
in
पीछे
transition. Here
VIP
goes
की टीम
RRQ
रोटेशन करते
right
हुए
out
सामने
and
एक्स
ahead
ऑरेंज
of all of this. They are the
एक्स
first
यूजो
ones to
ये
make the
ये
rotation
शूट
out
ले
of all
सकते
these
बॉक्स
northeast
गेमिंग
teams.
फायरिंग
They
करते हुए
might be the beneficiary of all of that. And they do
RRQ
find themselves a
G9
compound. Take some damage along the way,
Oh
but that's
no.
okay.
RRQ
Somehow
चारों तरफ
Kitsune
से
is
बंदों
up
से
and through here
घिरे
as well.
हुए
This guy is just finding incredible ways to survive. We
और
haven't
गॉड्स
even
की
lost a
इलाका
team yet,
लेडिक
Valdez.
डाउन
And he's
होते
doing
हुए
everything he
लेडिक
can
फिनिश
to,
होते हुए
fight and claw his way through.
जैसे मैंने
But a
बोला था
lot of people are
फाइट
going to
चालू
be
हो
setting up
चुकी है अब
inside of
गाइस मजा
Tovash.
आएगा
There are a ton of compounds available. But if I'm one of these teams, I'm really looking to get the northwest part of Tovash because the circle's most likely going to bounce that way.
वीआईपी का
outside of the
पूरा
city.
स्क्वाड
That's
साथ
the
में है
most likely, and therefore
रीच
you can
होल्ड
play
करके
gatekeeper
रखा है
there and
इन्होंने
get all the
बहुत बढ़िया
information on the
पोजीशन है
outside.
इनके ऊपर से
Usually you want to be on
बहुत
the
इजी
edges of
इनको
the cities if
पिक
possible.
किल पिक कर सकते हैं
Take a look at VIP just holding down the mountain. We've seen some teams do that well, others not so much. Top esports, rough position
टॉप
here.
esports को बहुत
Being
दिक्कत
shelled
होने
from,
वाली
it
है
looks
जोन
like,
में आने के
multiple
लिए
different
क्योंकि
angles, and now they have to get inside the circle, but a knock to
मिस्टर
start us off.
एमआर की
All right,
स्क्वाड ने
that is
पूरा
going to
उनको
be
रोक कर
one
रखा है
down. There's other battles starting to
एक नॉक
rage
कर
out.
दिया है
So I was saying this circle tightens up. There were too many
और यहाँ
outside
पर
of it, and
EDC
they've
ने
got to
फुलटॉन
get
को
in.
खत्म करते
Top
हुए EDCBR
esports
ने
is taking a
फुटबॉलिस्ट
bunch
सोले
of
को नॉक
damage
करते हुए
from the circle. They've
प्ले जोन
got
से
the
टेस्ट
US.
का बंदा
I
नॉक
don't
होते हुए
know if they have enough time to
EDC का
get in here.
खतरनाक
They
होते
are
हुए
very, very
फुलटे से
hurt. I'm
ARW
not
के
sure. This is
सूजबोरी
going
ने
to, yes, indeed. They are going to find death. They cannot get through.
फर्स्ट टीम
Footballist is
एलिमिनेटेड
eliminated in the
फुटबॉलिस्ट
back of all this
घातक
as
ने
well.
यहाँ पर
And you can see
EDCBR को डाउन
Tovash
और
is
फिनिश
full
करते
of a
हुए
ton of teams.
EDC
EGC
खत्म
somehow
होते
going
हुए
down
प्ले
as
जोन
well.
से
So
टेस्ट
a
का
lot
बंदा
of
फिर
teams
एक
are
और
finding
नॉक
their
होते
fate
हुए
now as
टेस्ट
the
खत्म
circle
होते
is
हुए
going to go
ऑलमोस्ट
middle.
प्ले जोन
C9
से
once
टेस्ट के
again
ऑलमोस्ट
is
सब
the
बंदे
beneficiary.
मर चुके हैं एंटिटी का
As you were
घातक नॉक
talking
होते
about,
हुए
so many teams over there by Tovac now butting
प्ले
heads.
जोन से
13 teams left, and we are here at one of the end circles. Not much
एवॉस का
time for either,
ईवॉस का
or
एक
any
और
rather,
बंदा
of
नॉक
these
हो चुका है
teams
बॉक्स
to
का एक बंदा नॉक था
make
जो
a big
रिवाइव हो
play
चुका
just
है
yet. But VIP, I like their position up on the mountain. Going to be inside the circle. Let's hope they don't get
यूजो ने
sniped
बॉक्स
down.
गेमिंग
I
के एक
like
बंदे को
VIP's
नॉक किया
position.
है
I
फिर
like
से.
RRQ's position. RRQ set up exactly what I was talking about on the northwest part of Tovach in a 2-2 split.
बॉक्स
They are
गेमिंग को
going to
अब
be
थोड़ी
able
दिक्कत
to,
होने वाली है
if they're
सब
able to
जोन में आने
execute
के लिए,
properly, really make the teams
क्योंकि
that are
वीआईपी
having
का
to
स्क्वाड
rotate
पूरी
outside
नजर
of
गाड़ के
Tovach
बैठा है
Bay.
उनके ऊपर.
VIP looking to put some shots down with that G36 Yakuza, trying to get a few dings in, nothing
VIP का
really
Yakuza.
catching for him. Trying to put that fishing rod out, but no bites. Here we go. Back
GSK
to
की
Go
फाइट
Gonzo,
होते
can
हुए
he do it
गॉन्जो की.
again? It's going to be him against Elementrix potentially, or
एलिमेंट्रिक्स के
you
साथ
know,
मिस्टर
Yozu might
ह्यूजो.
just let him go by, but Orange is up
Elementrix के
here.
बाकी
He's
टीम
going to try
कहाँ
to
पर
cook
है
a
भाई?
grenade, see if he can bounce it down the stairs. Maybe. This could be good, but no, he's going to put it back in his pocket. Nobody was coming up. He didn't hear the footsteps, so he's thinking, nope, don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it, guys. For you guys at home
रेड की
wondering,
टीम तीन
just cook the
टीम
grenade, you can put it
यहाँ पर.
away. Was able to do exactly
रेड की
that,
टीम
but he still is in
एलिमेंट्रिक्स
a
की
kind
टीम
of rough spot here on top
और
of this building.
गॉड्स
Good
किला की टीम
scouting, though.
तीनों
At
एक ही
the end of it
कंपाउंड में
all,
होल्ड
he's
कर रहे
going
हैं.
to be able to hear exactly where that team does end up
आरआरक्यू की
going.
टीम
Go
हिल की
Skilla
तरफ है.
in the middle of this town.
All right, Red Canids were
घातक
just
शायद
a bit
रिवाइव हो
outside
चुका
of
है
the
मेरे
circle.
ख्याल से.
Now, this compound that they're moving up
ETG का
towards now
घातक
is going to
रिवाइव हो
be
चुका है मेरे
inside
ख्याल
of the
से.
next circle just a bit, but most likely it is not going to stay that way. So for now, they're just trying to set up, keep themselves alive, see if they can outlast some of these other teams, try and get a better
याजुका ने नॉक
placement
करते
point
हुए
for
फिर से.
themselves. You can see Go went down for Box there. He got knocked. And will the
बॉक्स मार्को
Box
घातक ने फिर
is
से
taking
बॉक्स
some
मार्को
damage
को
here.
नॉक करते हुए
Marco
बहुत बढ़िया.
as well gets knocked. So Evo's is putting the hurt
घातक का ये दूसरा
onto
नॉक
the
होएगा.
Vietnamese team, and you've got VIP up here.
वीआईपी और
lobbing some
एनटीटी
Molotovs.
दोनों मिलके बॉक्स के
And
लिए
this is looking very difficult for
सरदर्द बन
Box
चुके हैं.
now.
अब ये बॉक्स
Haikul has
यहाँ
that
से आ ही नहीं
Car 98,
सकता
so he's
सर्कल में,
gonna
एक
find some
गारंटी है.
damage.
एवॉस की
Sai
टीम
spraying in, and that is going to be
साई ने
Evo's
एक और नॉक
very,
करते
very
हुए.
beat up.
एवॉस का एक ही
Skyzy
बंदा
goes
बचा हुआ
down,
है.
and what a bad situation for them in Box to be in. And here we go, the battle finally between Go Skilla and Elementrix.
एलिमेंट्रिक्स और
two
गॉड्स
go
किला
down
के
in the
बीच
fight.
में
It's
फाइट
just
हो
Boo Man left.
चुकी है.
Booman is
एलिमेंट्रिक्स
out.
के
He's
दोनों
going
बंदे
up the
नॉक
stairs.
और
He's
फिनिश हो
not
चुके
really
हैं.
interested in this
अब
battle. At this point now,
Booman बचा है
Booman needs to
अकेला.
be the solo hero for Elementrix.
Yeah, I don't mind his position. He's going to be able to just back away. It would have been real bad if he got knocked down as well there and taken away. But the circle closing in, making a push out here.
एमआर की
Looks
टीम
like,
क्लोज सर्कल में
one of his
क्लोजिंग करते
teams
हैं और
towards
सर्कल
the left
एंटिटी
side of
को
this wall.
फेवर करते हुए
Let's go
एंटिटी
Skilla.
बस 40 या 50 मीटर ही दूर होगी
spot, as you see,
सर्कल
but
से.
the circle now is going to be the real killer for this team.
Yeah, everybody in
आएगा.
Tovach this is what happens when you go into cities. A lot of times the circle leaves you, and then you are in a world
और यहाँ
of
पर
trouble.
टीकू
Team
की टीम
Queso
आते
doing
हुए
a good
टीम
job.
कैसो के
They
ऊपर
maneuver
वीआईपी के
into the
शॉट्स
center
आते
of the
हुए.
circle. We saw this last time, but they weren't able to defend it. VIP up on the high ground, doing a great job punishing
एमआर
all
के
these
लिए
other
ये
teams that
टफ
cross
होगा
their
यहाँ
sight
से बाहर
lines.
निकलना,
Ben
क्योंकि तीनों
some more
बंदे वहाँ
shots
ओपन
from
में
up
लेटे
there.
हुए.
I gotta wonder how much darn ammo they have, because they are just
एंटिटी
shooting
नियो
at
नॉक होते हुए.
everything. And there is RRQ
ARW
right
के
below them.
players
So
हैं.
Ben V probably knows that. He's got to be really, really careful. He's just
मैंने
trying to see
पहले
if
ही
he can
कहा
pick
था
up
जो
a
भी
few
रिक्स के
kills
ऊपर रहेगा
onto No
उसको बहुत
Rage, the
फायदा होने
German
वाला
team
है.
from up here.
लास्ट तक
But
सर्कल इधर ही
again,
बना.
VIP still in the
मेरा
circle.
प्रेडिक्शन सही होते
Gotta
हुए.
worry about Box coming up behind them.
ईटीजी घातक ने एआरडब्ल्यू के
No Rage
मैटिव
has
को नॉक
nothing
करते
but a
जोनाथन
blown
नॉक
up
होते हुए
dossier.
एआरडब्ल्यू से एआरडब्ल्यू के
And actually,
जोनाथन ने फिनिश कर
it's
चुका
not
है.
that bad.
लैपिस ने नियो को पिक
It's
ऑफ
given
किया.
them a lot of cover for now,
घातक
but
पिक
they
ऑफ
do
हो
have
चुके
to
हैं.
move
अमन
in
अकेला
towards
बचा
that
है.
circle.
अमल
You're
भी
talking
पिक
about
ऑफ
the
होते हुए
seventh
एंटिटी
circle and
एलिमिनेट
11
होते हुए
teams
नंबर
left
12 पे.
available here on the map. So
फिर से
everybody's
एंटिटी के लिए
desperately
खराब
trying
गेम
to
जाते
hold
हुए.
on to their positions on this Vikandi, where it can be so rough to get aggressive into these compounds.
Yeah, the Cannons are trying to be patient and waiting for the teams that have to cross in front of them to get into the next
God's
circle to
lucky
do
team.
so, seeing if they can pick up some kill
आराम से
points.
सर्कल का वेट
It's going
करते
to be
हुए.
really challenging for them to get into the next circle. So I think this is a smart play.
Ex-Poo-Poo man
Set up on
अकेला
the edge of
बचा
the
हुआ है
city
यहाँ पर.
and just go for any of the points you can possibly get. A decent grenade attempt there by Poo-Poo Man. That almost catches a member of Goskilla. He's going to start healing up. Here
Ex-Poo-Poo
we go.
man
Goskilla
heal better कर
coming
देगा.
on through.
और
They are in that house,
प्लस
but they are very, very
Gonzo
weak.
भी
No Rage is getting
heal
beat
better
up
कर
by
रहा है.
VIP up on the mountain and RRQ as well. So
RRQ ने
RRQ
रेड के दो बंदों को
them
नॉक
now
कर
to
दिया.
make
प्लेजों
matters
से
worse for
मिस्टर
them. Put some salt in the wound. No
मिस्टर
Rage
रोजोटो
is going to go down.
मरते हुए.
And this
RRQ
is
सीनियर
getting
ने रेड की
really,
टीम
really dicey
लेवेस्की
on the
को नॉक करते
southeast
हुए
corner.
प्लेजों
So
से
many
डीएसके
teams
का
down
गॉन्जो
here,
खत्म
and
होता
the
है.
blue is just going to
RRQ के
choke them
मैक्सन
through.
I'm a big fan of
RRQ के
RRQ's
G9 ने
position right now. They cover their flank. They pick up a bunch of kills, 7 total now. They move up
भाई
the
यार
field,
किल
game
फीड इतनी
2
फास्ट
the
चल रही है यार,
circle,
मैं बता भी नहीं
now
पा
they're
रहा हूँ
gonna
गाइस.
pick up even more.
बॉक्स
Yeah,
गेमिंग
this is
एलिमिनेट
great
होते हुए
play by by RRQ. Patient, disciplined play.
6
is
टीमें
going to
बची
pay
हुई
off
हैं
for them. Ernie
एलिमेंट्री
on the back flank, though, he
एलिमेंट्रिक्स
is
खत्म
able
होते
to
हुए
cover it, but he is going to get high cool, but Ben V is actually going to find Ernie. So
आरआरक्यू
a
अर्नी
bit of
खत्म होते हुए
damage traded
नेड
between
से
those two
पिक
teams.
ऑफ
Let's see
होते
if they
हुए
can find the res. You can see Seniors
एक और
just
नेड
shoot
आते
up
हुए
and over, trying
सीनियर
to
भी
protect
नॉक हो
their
सकता है
teammates
शायद
as they get the smokes down, looking to for
वीआईपी
revives,
का
but
स्क्वाड
Ben
ने
V
पूरा
not
डोमिनेट किया
real
ये गेम
interested in letting that
क्योंकि
happen.
उनके पास
Unique is
रिच
down
थी
in the background
रिच से
as
उन्होंने
well.
पूरा
So a
जो
lot of
गेम
teams
दिखाया
falling down. The Canids
रेड
fall
की
to the blue.
टीम
There
भी
was nothing
एलिमिनेट
they
होते
could do.
हुए
They were completely boxed out. That mountain
टेस्ट की
just
टीम भी
covers
एलिमिनेट
everything with
होते हुए
VIP and RRQ up there.
Oh,
Here-
C9 trying
टीम
to make a
क्वेसो
play for the
वर्सेस
smoke.
क्लाउड
They're
9
gonna
हो
make a
सकती
run
है
for it, but
क्या
so
स्प्रे
many
था
members
भाई
getting knocked out
दो
there. A
दो
couple, and the car is gonna
अरे
blow up.
भाई
That
जबरदस्त
is not what you wanted to see for C9.
क्लाउड
What
9 के 3
incredible
बंदे
shooting
मर
by
चुके हैं
Axial.
एक
He
ही
rips
बंदा
two
बचा हुआ
members
है
right
अभी
out of that vehicle. Back over to Ben
RRQ
V,
पुश
who's got
करते
the
हुए
high
वीआईपी
ground
के
on top of RRQ. RRQ just trying to
VIP
see if
का
they
भी ये
can
भी
get that
अकेला बंदा
revive
बचा हुआ
once
है
again. Ben V doing a great job, but now here comes the Japan squad. The
ARW
all
की स्क्वाड आ
rejection
चुकी है
team
यहाँ
is
पर
up
ऑल
here and
रिजेक्शन
trying to
गेमिंग
get up and over. And
RRQ
oh no,
सीनियर के ऊपर
RRQ
स्प्रे
getting
लेते हुए
flanked by Team Queso
Team
as
Queso
well.
मार्को
So many
D2
smokes having to be used. They've still got a little utility in the bag
VIP का
there.
बंदा
Now Ben
RRQ
V
की
is in
हेल्प
a
कर
bit of
सकता है
trouble.
अगर उसने
Last
ARW
member
के
left
बंदों
there
को
for
एक भी
VIP,
नॉक कर
trying to
दिया
hold this angle, but man,
ARW
this is
का
going
एक
to
भी
be so
बंदा
tough.
नॉक कर दिया अगर
ARW, if
उसने
they
तो
play
उसको
this
बहुत
right, should
बेनिफिट
just be
होगा
able to
RRQ
swap
को
him out.
They have the best position right now, even better than
RRQ सीनियर
RRQ.
के
And
ऊपर स्प्रे आते
I'm
हुए
even at a loss for how they made it
और
up there.
मैंने
But
जैसा कहा था
Ben
वैसा ही हुआ
gonna take one with him at least. Will be
एक
taken
बंदा
out here
पूरा
at the
फिनिश
end, but
करते
he
हुए
gets the kill
VIP का
onto Lapis.
ARW
So
का
probably the best he could have gotten in
VIP
that
एक बंदे
position.
ने
Yeah,
पूरा
absolutely. Getting one
फिनिश
kill there
करते
is
हुए ARW का एक
fantastic, but
बंदा
now
और यहाँ पर
ARW is going
ARW
to
की
duke it
फाइट
out with
होते
RRQ.
हैं
Crazy Gore is
RRQ
going to
के
go
साथ
down.
RRQ
We've got
G9
a couple
नॉक
members from
होते हुए
each
D2
team
ने
going
ARW
down
के
here. It's going to be
रॉरी को ऑफ किया
DG98.
G9
He
नॉक
goes
होते
down.
हुए सीनियर
Ayala
ने
trying to
ARW
up
के
and over with a
क्रेजी को
grenade
नॉक करते हुए
from Team
RRQ
Queso.
सीनियर भी
They're
नॉक
trying to
होते हुए
third party this fight. Senior is knocked here. Some damage being done.
अकेला
Ayala
RRQ
pushing
D2
forward,
ही बचा
knowing
हुआ
full
है
well that he's got RRQ on the run, but AR is behind him as well. He didn't really realize it, and that is going to be it. Wow, Queso
टीम क्वेसो
able to push up and
निकालते
over
हुए
at the right time, catch a bunch of teams fighting on top of the mountain to come out with that chicken dinner.
और ये टीम
That was
क्वेसो की
a
कौन है
very
भाई लड़की
interesting
है
ending there.
ये
We
लड़का
really were
है
not sure who was going to come out ahead
टीम
as the
क्वेसो
number one
चिकन
team,
डिनर के
but
साथ
I have to say, it
डिनर
felt
विनर
like Team
चिकन
Queso
डिनर
was last on my list, and boy, did they prove